It never gets less awkward to talk to a camera. I mean, I know I've only filmed 4 videos or something like that, but Hi, hello, my name's Jenna. Welcome to my video. I am moving to Japan and filming it. So I'm moving to Japan next month to teach English. I wanted to come up with a bucket list and I thought it would be a good idea to put it into some kind of video format and put it on YouTube. Why not? I will say that it's quite hard to find things to put on a bucket list that aren't like touristy things. I'm gonna call this a evolving bucket list because I'm sure things will appear on my bucket list when I'm in Japan and things might come off, I don't know, but this is not a set in stone bucket list. This is just what I'm going off whilst I'm sat here in the UK. If you've got any sort of hidden gems that won't necessarily be on the internet for me to find, then please let me know. Leave a comment and tell me to put it on my bucket list because that's what this whole thing's for. I'm so excited about this whole move. I'm so excited to attempt to tick off everything on my bucket list, and there is a lot on there, so we'll see how it goes. Here is my bucket list for Japan. Let's see how much I can do. And I will start off by saying that a lot of these I'm planning to do with my boyfriend Will, who is already in Japan and has been for a couple months, so he's left a little bit earlier than me. So a lot of these things I'm hoping he will want to do with me. If not, that's fine, I'll do it by myself. But yeah, we've already talked about doing a couple of these things together anyway, so I've got quite a lot on my bucket list, so I've split it into sections to make it a little bit more manageable. The sections that I have got are theme parks, museums / art galleries, hiking / sights to see, history, temples, shrines and castles, festivals, onsens, and I've got a others category as well. Okay, so I'm going to start off with my theme parks. Obviously, I want to go to Disney Sea and Tokyo Disney. My impression of the Disney situation in Japan is that there's 2 parks next to each other, Disney Sea and Tokyo Disney. I don't know what the difference is between them, but I found that there's 2 different parks, so I want to do both of them. I've been a massive Disney fan since I was a child, so this has been on my life bucket list for a while. So yeah, that would be just amazing to go to Disney in Japan. Sorry for looking down here as well, my bucket list is written on my laptop down here. The next theme park is Universal Studios Japan, and this is for similar reasons. I am a Potterhead. I know there's more at Universal Studios than just Harry Potter, but that's the main reason I would probably go there. The next theme park on my list is Legoland Japan, because I am literally just a big kid. If it excites a child, it will excite me. The next theme park on my list is a theme park I found called Edo Wonderland, and it seems to be a park based off of the Edo period in Japanese history. What a way to experience Japanese history than going to a theme park. Yeah, it looks really cool. I'll put some pictures on the screen. You've got the architecture and people are dressed in the clothing that they wore. It looks really cool. It looks really interesting. The next theme park is an obvious one, Super Nintendo World. I don't think it needs much explaining. I'm going to Japan, come on, why wouldn't I want to go? The next theme park is possibly the top of the whole bucket list for me, and every time I think about it, it makes me really happy. It's called Small Worlds and it's in Tokyo. I believe it's recently opened. It's basically an indoor miniature theme park. It looks really cute and makes me really happy to think about. So the next theme park on my list is Ghibli Park. Obviously I have to go to Ghibli Park if I'm going to Japan. To go along with that, I've got the Ghibli Museum on my bucket list as well, because in a similar way it looks like a wonderful place to go if you love the Ghibli films. And if you're interested, my favourite Ghibli film is Whisper of the Heart, so now you know. So that is my theme park section. I'm super excited to go to all these theme parks. So the next section we've got is museums / art galleries. So I will say at this point, I'm really sorry if I mispronounce some Japanese names. My Japanese is coming on, but I just want to put that out there that I'm really sorry if I don't say something correctly. So the first thing on this section, I found an art island, Naoshima. Basically an island full of different art things. So yeah, I want to go there and check it out and explore it. The next museum is the Mori Building Digital Art Museum. This has to be up there with one of the best things on this list. You might have seen some pictures of this museum on Instagram or Pinterest. I literally cannot wait to go to this museum. It looks incredible. Essentially, from what I understand from the pictures and reading into it, it's an immersive experience with tons of lights. I think there's a rain room, but yeah, I really want to go there. I believe this one is in Tokyo. The next museum on my list is the Miho Museum, which is a museum that was designed by the same architect as the Louvre in Paris. So it's a really impressive looking museum. Yeah, it looks really interesting, so I want to go there. Some of these museums I know less about than others. These are just museums I thought looked interesting. So the next museum is a really cool museum. The Omiya Bonsai Art Museum, which is a museum of bonsai trees. Because why wouldn't I want to go to that? It's bonsai trees. The next museum is the Adachi Museum of Art. It looks like it has some really beautiful gardens, as well as obviously Japanese paintings, both contemporary and classic. Is it classic? Historical? All types of Japanese paintings. The next museum is a really important one. It's the Hiroshima Peace Memorial Park and Museum. It's a really sad and emotional place to go, but I feel that it's really important that I do go so that I can learn more about what happened there and the devastating effects it's had. The next museum is the Edo Tokyo Open Air Architectural Museum, which is a museum of historical Japanese buildings. And I didn't realise how much I really liked architecture until I was putting this bucket list together, and I realised that a lot of the items on the list are because of the architecture that I want to see it. And obviously, who doesn't love Japanese architecture? The temples, the shrines, they all look incredible. So I want to see it in person and not just on a picture. I'm so excited. So the next one is Yoro Park. I've added this to this section, although it seems to be more of a experience. From my understanding, it's a park with lots of sort of architectural things, sort of modern art pieces, but it looks really interesting and I really want to go and check it out and see it. So we're moving on now to our next section, which is hiking / sights to see. So the first item in this section is climb Mount Fuji. This might be unrealistic, but at the very least I'd like to see it. I would really like to climb it. Will and I climbed Ben Nevis in Scotland a couple of years ago, and I believe Ben Nevis is about half the height of Mount Fuji, and we found that really tough. So it might happen, who knows. I'd still like to see it from the ground. The next one is Saginaw Bamboo Forest, and I feel like this is a famous one as well. I'm always seeing pictures of this on Instagram and Pinterest, and I feel like this makes it onto everyone's bucket list for Japan because it looks really cool. It's on my bucket list now too, so yeah. The next one is a really cool one. It's the forest that inspired the film Princess Mononoke. I'll try and say the name of the place. Shiratani Unsuikyo. I think that was right. It looks like you can hike around the forest and explore, and it looks really magical, so I want to see that. The next item is the hydrangea train, which looks like a really beautiful experience. It's a train line that in the summer there's all these hydrangeas on the sides of the tracks, and it looks really, really beautiful. So I really want to do that. The next one is the deer park in Nara. I first saw this on a YouTube video by Currently Hannah. There are over 1,200 wild deer that are just free to roam around, and then they don't seem to be very scared of humans at all. I think as well you can get snacks to feed the deer, but I get the impression that the deer are not very happy when you run out of the snacks. So the next one is Kochia Hill in the autumn time. In the autumn time, it's filled with shrubs that are autumn colours. It's just a scenery that I want to see, all of these red shrubs on the hill. I'm not explaining it very well at all, but hopefully you can see from the pictures that it looks pretty incredible. Okay, so we're moving on swiftly because this bucket list is longer than I thought. Oh dear. I'm gonna be a busy girl in Japan doing all of this. So our next section, history, temples, shrines and castles. I will start this section off by saying that the reason I want to go to all of the following is basically because of the beautiful architecture and the fact that I want to learn more about Japanese history. I'm sure I will find more temples, shrines and castles that I want to go to, but for now this is what I'm starting off with. The first castle is Osaka Castle. It's really old apparently. I found that it was built a long time ago in 1583. That is old. It seems to be quite a famous landmark in Japan as well. This next temple is called Seigantoji, a temple I actually found on Pinterest just looking for things to paint. So I've created a painting of this temple. Now I really want to go and see it in real life. It's funny how you build connections with places that you've never been to before. It's quite incredible really when you think about it. But I bet that seeing it in person would feel so amazing really, having obsessed over it on a photo. The next shrine, we've got a shrine, is the Fushimi Inari Shrine, which is a shrine in Kyoto. And this is probably on a lot of people's bucket list when they go to Japan because it's quite famous. And of course I want to go to because it does look incredible. So the next temple on my bucket list is the Kinkakuji Temple. Which is a Zen Buddhist temple. The top 2 floors are covered in gold leaf, so it looks really fancy. Again, I'd love to know the historical reasons behind why the top 2 floors are covered in gold leaf. I could probably Google it, to be fair, I could, but I want to go and experience the history in person. The next shrine is Hakone Shrine. Again, I saw a picture of it on Pinterest and I wanted to paint it. So I painted it. Now I really want to go and see it in real life because it looks so peaceful. The scenery looks absolutely beautiful. So yeah, I'd really love to go see it in real life. And the last castle is Kumamoto Castle. I think I will probably have a lot of castles that I want to eventually see in Japan. Kumamoto Castle is a impressive looking castle, so I want to go and see it. And being in Fukuoka, I'm not going to be that far away from it, so I want to go see it, yeah. Okay. Moving on, festivals. Obviously festivals are quite big in Japan, so the first festival is Aomori Nebuta Festival, which is a festival full of loads of colourful floats of mythical gods and Japanese TV characters. The festival looks really vibrant and colourful, and there's lots of music and dance. It just looks really fun. So I want to go, and I want to learn about how these festivals have come about and the meanings behind them, and yeah. I want to experience them. I feel like all of the festivals on this list are for the experience. Everything on this list is for the experience. It's a bucket list. The next festival is the Takada Cherry Blossom Festival, which is a festival with loads of cherry blossoms, as the name would suggest. There's loads of cherry blossoms which are really beautiful at night, and there's fireworks on the last night of the festival. Looks like a really beautiful festival. And obviously cherry blossom viewing is a very big thing in Japan. I believe the name for it is hanami. I have more cherry blossom viewing items on my bucket list in the others section. The next festival is the Hakata Dontaku Matsuri, which is a traditional festival with lots of floats and flower buses. Flower buses. Flower buses. How cute is that? I have to be honest, I don't know too much about these festivals. The pictures I've seen make me really want to go. The next festival I feel like is on everyone's bucket list for Japan. It's the Sapporo Snow Festival. I've wanted to go to this one for a very long time, having seen loads of pictures of it on the internet. The next one is the Chichibu Yomatsuri, which is the Chichibu Night Festival. And as the name would suggest, it is a night festival and there's loads of lights and fireworks. It looks really pretty on the pictures, and I'd love to go. Next is Away-Adelyn Dance Festival. There's loads of dance and music and looks like a really amazing experience. Am I gonna have time whilst working full-time to do all of these things? Probably not. You have to be ambitious, don't you? You have to be. If you want to get things done in your life, you have to be ambitious. The next and last festival on my bucket list is the Gion Matsuri, the Gion festival. Apparently it's the most famous festival in Japan. So again, the pictures make me want to go to this festival. It looks like a really lively atmosphere and a really good experience. My next section is onsens. I put all of these following onsens onto my bucket list because they all look beautiful and relaxing, and that's why you would want to go to an onsen. And I'm sure there's so many more onsens that I would want to put on my bucket list, but for now this is what I'm starting with. Please let me know if there's an onsen that I have to put on my bucket list, because I will. I'll do it. So I will just list these and put pictures. The Kusatsu Onsen, Kurokawa Onsen, Yufuin Onsen, Dogo Onsen. Dogo Onsen is the onsen that Spirited Away was based on. I have to go to that one, obviously. And then there's also Fuji Kawaguchiko Onsen, which is an onsen with views of Mount Fuji. What seems better to you than relaxing in an onsen with views of Mount Fuji? I feel like in that moment I will feel like I have made it and my life will have been fulfilled. That's quite dramatic for me to say, but distracted. Those are my onsens. Okay, we have finally reached the last section, which is the others category. So the first other thing on my bucket list for Japan is I want to learn Japanese calligraphy. As I said, I love art. Calligraphy is viewed as an art form in Japan. It's one of the main reasons that I love the language, is because of the calligraphy. The next one is I would love to go skiing in the Japanese Alps. I have been skiing a few times with my boyfriend's family and I've had the best time. To go skiing in the Japanese Alps is an experience that I would love to have. The next one is hanami, which is cherry blossom viewing. So these are the places that I found that are the best for hanami. Again, I'll probably add more. Yoshino in Ueno Park, Miyajima in the Hiroshima Prefecture, Okazaki Canal in Kyoto, Umi no Nakamichi Seaside Park in Fukuoka, which is quite convenient because I will be living in Fukuoka. Hanami, I feel like you can't go to Japan and not experience hanami. I want to go to a cat cafe. And we have cat cafes in the UK, but I want to go to a cat cafe in Japan. I don't really need to justify it, do I? It's not that I'm a cat person over a dog person, but I do love cats. They are probably my spirit animal. Next, I want to go go-karting in Tokyo because you can actually do that. You can do real life Mario Kart. This is one I probably wouldn't want to do on my own, so I'm hoping that Will want to do it with me, or find some friends that want to do it with me. I mean, who wouldn't want to go go-karting in Tokyo? On the streets of Tokyo, your little go-kart, amazing. Next, I want to stay in a ryokan, which is a traditional Japanese inn. I feel like I will be able to tick this off my list quite easily, because going to all of these places I will need to stay in a hotel. The next one is quite similar, which is to stay in a capsule hotel. Okay, next is running. I like running. I'm not massively good at it, but I do like it sometimes. I have run a marathon, so I can put myself into that category. I want to run races in Japan because I've proven to myself that I can do a marathon. I can train and be committed enough to complete a marathon. So I can do it again in Japan. I think personally, if you can put your mind to it, if you can put your mind to it once and do it and prove to yourself that you can do it it again. And there are a lot of marathons on this running list that I want to complete. Is it unrealistic to tell myself to do them all? Yes, probably. Yes, but I have to be ambitious. These are the marathons I want to do in Japan. Tokyo Marathon, Kyoto Marathon, Osaka Marathon, Fukuoka Marathon, Fujisan Marathon, which is a marathon around the lakes of Mount Fuji. So I feel like if I do none of the other marathons, I have to do Tokyo and I have to do Fuji. That sounds incredible to me. So not only put yourself out there to run a marathon in Japan, but to be able to run around one of the most iconic sites in the world. The last marathon is the Kumamoto Marathon, which I believe goes around the castle. So the castle is also on my list. So I can tick 2 off at once if I do the Kumamoto Marathon. So this might be a completely unrealistic list, but I mean, if I'm honest with myself, these are the races that I want to experience. The last thing on my bucket list for Japan is to see a marching band, because I play tenor horn in a brass band back at home. My dad showed me this video of a high school marching band that were playing a Disney melody, and they were marching through and they were dancing, and it looked incredible. And I later found out that that band is called the Kyoto Tachibana Senior High School Band. If I see no other bands, I want to see them because they look really, really cool. And please watch the video that I will link in the description of this band, because it will make your day. So that is my bucket list for Japan. Let's hope I can achieve all of them. It might give you an idea of what things I want to be filming when I get to Japan and what things are coming up for my YouTube channel that is now a thing. I might do a separate bucket list for Fukuoka, where I will be living, but maybe, I don't know. I will link everything in the description that I used to help me come up with this bucket list, and I will of course give credit to all of the photos. If you have any suggestions of things I should be putting on my bucket list, then please let me know. If you're interested in what I get up to in Japan, and if you're interested to see how many of these things I can tick off my bucket list, then subscribe. Come along for the journey. I'm hoping it's going to be a good one. I'm really excited to do all of these things. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you are in the world. A reminder to be kind to people and chase your dreams.